My name is Evan Harrington.
It's Buffalo Pepsi. You want to try some? Look at him like, Buffalo Pepsi? He's like, look at him like, there's different flavors.
I'm your host, Frank the Tank Lopez. I'm ready to fight a kid if it happens. If one kid says one dumb thing tomorrow about Baker Mayfield or anything, I'm punching a kid. Boom!
Mr. Brotherly Love here, Chris Giacobello. I know how to turn the mics on, Dan.
That's a good thing to know.
We got it. Progress. Where is this Ronaldo slander? Why do you have Ronaldo slander? Where is this banter coming from?
My name's Dan Dale, a.k.a. Double D.
You're quiet. I can barely hear you.
Why am I quiet? Why am I quiet?
Dan, you're quiet.
How am I ever quiet?
Here is The Blitz on 91.3 FM.
Live here from Buffalo State University.
Welcome to a beautiful, fantabulous, freaky Friday. It's been a minute since I've been able to host and produce The Blitz. I'm your host, Frank the Tank Lopez. We're going to have a great show for you tonight, or this afternoon. Told you it's been a minute. I got to get back into the swing of things. Joining me in Studio A is, of course, you know him, you love him, everybody's good pal, Dan Dale.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
And in Studio B, we got Joey Cheese.
How you guys doing this afternoon?
We're doing fantastic, aren't we?
Yes,
Of course, of course.
Obviously, we're in Western New York. We are in Buffalo, New York. And yesterday, a pretty spectacular thing happened. The Buffalo Bills, for 2.5 quarters, absolutely were dominating and throttling the Miami Dolphins. And I say 2.5 quarters because it felt like after the second half started and there were 10 minutes already gone from the third quarter, a certain event occurred, and it was again tough to see. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, ran for a first down on what was it, 4th and 5?
4th and 4.
All right. And he went in, he ran with the ball, and he didn't dive and ran straight into Damar Hamlin, and unfortunately suffered another consequence. He after he was hit, he went straight into the fencing position, and if you've seen any of Tua's previous concussions, you know it's when his body stiffens up, his arms go straight in the air, and his fingers start, kind of constricting. It was just another scary sight to see for someone who, this is now his 5th concussion?
5th concussion.
In 2.5, 3 years?
Yeah, I think now 3 years? 3 years, because 22, 23, 24. So, yeah.
And we'll talk about that more later, because we want to start the show on, a good note, but we'll just say it right now, love and prayers right now to Tua, and just, whatever outcome comes to this, we'll talk about it more later, but, we're all praying for Tua. But
yes, sir.
Let's talk about that football game, though. Let's talk about the offensive player of the game, in my eyes, James Cook.
Hattie, man?
Guess what he did? He cooked. James Cook cooked.
I love me a Hattie. I mean, I love it when it happens in hockey, but oh my God.
In
football?
A James Cook Hattie?
I mean, what? He got a 41-yard rush touchdown. He got I think, 15-yard receiving touchdown, and then a 7-yard rushing touchdown, which I think is the biggest rushing touchdown, because they allowed him to rush the ball inside the red zone.
Yeah, that brother.
When's the last time that happened?
Yeah. So James Cook had 11 attempts, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest was the 49-yard run, obviously. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I think we got a little guest right now. Joining us in Studio B, You also know him. You also love him. It's Evan Harrington.
We're here just a few minutes late, running behind a little bit, but hey, here for the next 2 hours.
We're happy to have you here, bud.
I assume we're talking about the Bills-Dolphins game.
Yeah, I just said, thoughts and prayers to Tua. I said maybe if we have time, we'll talk about that and, the situation regarding that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're just going to start, with the throttling that the Bills put on for 2.5 quarters. And we're just starting with James Cook and his hattie that he had last night. What'd you think of the hat trick? Were you expecting a James Cook touchdown hattie last night?
Well, so I can tell you actually what I was expecting coming into the game. I knew the Bills were going to come in a little more run-centric because if you watched the Jacksonville-Miami game just the week prior, you saw that ETN and Tank Bigsby were running the football pretty well on the Miami defense. I mean, they got 130 yards. They're averaging 5 yards a carry. Jacksonville was doing some really good things on the ground until that ETN fumble, which ultimately led Miami back into the game. So when the Bills last week against Arizona ran the football for 130 yards, 4 yards a clip, right? We saw the running game look pretty good in the first half. And I knew that they were going to come into this game with that same type of approach, and that's what they did. They came into the game with this sort of approach. And we saw the results that what took place. The Bills ran the football really well. And James Cook was the predecessor of those carries and those touches, whether it was through the receiving game or just on the ground itself. Mind you, the Bills were really, fortunate to have the short fields that we were given. Whether it was the two interceptions that led to us having shorter fields, or the turnover on downs that Ed Oliver stopped that led to the James Cook 49-yard rushing touchdown. Other than that, did I expect James Cook to come into this game with 3 touchdowns? No. I expected him to potentially get into the end zone. Sure, if you wanted to throw a bet on that or something. But no one could have predicted James Cook 3 touchdowns on, 70 total yards?
Yeah,
all in the first half.
78 total yards, and one of them being a receiving touchdown where it was pitched. But, I mean...
And all of his yards really came from 2 plays.
Yeah.
In the retrospect of things.
Yeah, 78 total yards. His longest run was the 49-yard touchdown. And
his receiving touchdown was, 20 yards? 22?
Yeah, it was... No, 17.
Okay. But
yeah.
Either way.
Yeah,
That's 64 yards, 65 yards, 66 yards in itself, so...
And it was on a 4th down play. I mean, they gave a lot of trust to him on that 4th down play.
And
both teams were...
That's very similar to the same play the Bills ran against the Jets last year. I'm not exactly sure what week, but it was under, obviously, the Joe Brady regime. It was the same thing. It's just motion one guy out, see if it's man or zone. And that's what they did. They just motioned Cook out wide. You got David Wilson Jr., the linebacker for the Dolphins, mixed up, right?
Yeah.
Or David Long Jr., I'm pretty sure. Mixed up. We know it's man. So we know that we can move Samuel around the backfield and get Ramsey on an island compared to where he would not be. And then you got the pick sets by, I believe it was Hollins and maybe Coleman, I forget, or MVS, I'm not exactly sure, but perfectly designed play call. I mean, just to get your best player in space, it doesn't get much better than that, man.
Yeah, no, and it's a big contrast to last season where it took a while for this offense. I mean, it was still a high-powered offense, but James Cook wasn't, I don't want to say he wasn't reliable, because he still was, but it took a while for him to really step into his role and develop into the high-powered runner that he is. And now, we're 2 weeks in, and James Cook he's producing now. So I think that's a big, sigh of relief for Bills fans and the Bills front office to be able to see that they're carrying the momentum they had last season towards the end of the season and producing it still on the field. Well, week 2, and we're looking at a top 5 team here. I don't want to throw my bets in yet. We're looking at a top 5 team right now.
Could be the most complete Bills team.
It feels
in the
like
last 4 years.
It's weird to say that, especially when you think about it. I mean, you had Stephon Diggs for a time being, you had Cole Beasley, you had your wide receivers look completely different than what you would expect them to be on a complete team. I mean, your linebackers, both Milano and now Bernard, are hurt.
Taron Johnson
included. I mean, I even thought last night, it was crazy to me how much I saw them using Austin Johnson instead of Daquan Jones. And I was just like, fathomed. And he was still getting pressure. And I was just like, is Daquan hurt? And I'm like, no, Daquan's not hurt.
Dwayne Carter had a good game.
I just think it's weird that we can say that right now after 2 games, it feels the most complete team we've had, either from the coaching that it's made us feel this safe, or it's that the players just fit into this better than they did ever before with a Dayball, a Ken Dorsey, or, same on the defensive side of the ball with Frazier.
Yeah.
And even McDermott. I mean, if Babbage is doing the job that he is and he's getting turnovers, I mean, I can't believe last night that Jamarcus Ingram had 2 picks. I mean, who would have thought that at the end of the day, you could say a talent from the University of Buffalo who went undrafted has 2 picks on one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
It fathoms you. And I really think the only thing that isn't complete about the team, and
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know where I'm going, Frank, because of last night. Tyler Bass, what are you doing? What was that kick?
Yeah,
what was that kick? That was the only thing that I was bothered by.
I need to see a replay of it if it was a bad snap, bad hold, but
I think he just hit it horribly.
Nonetheless, that was a bad kick. That was a bad kick.
Like, and he's in a dome. There's not
a dome. Not a dome.
Not a dome.
Not a dome. Retractable roof.
Oh yeah, it's a retractable roof. Sorry, retractable roof.
I don't think the roof was on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
But still, light winds. It wasn't like blowing hard or anything. It was like probably 5 miles per hour. I mean, nothing to really worry of, and it was a 45-yarder, I believe. 40. And he hit it that low? I mean...
He does kick a lot of his...
He does,
like
and
that.
I know he does, but I've seen him do that for 50, 55, like, longer kicks, and this just makes me worried of... Is something wrong with him? Like, that he's had to change up his style and he's not the same, and we need to get a ringer or something in and like challenge him, because I'm worried that, he could just be like coasting, and then right as it becomes, important time again, playoff time, and he misses a field goal that could have tied the game, at least.
Wide right.
Exactly. So it's a little worrisome. I think some people forgot about that last night just because of the demolishment of that offense and defense altogether, just Miami altogether. But that was one thing that stuck out, like, okay, we need to talk. We need to talk.
Yeah, we need to discuss about Tyler. But one player that I do want to discuss about, and honestly, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you know about him. You love him. But I think a star in the making game, Christian Benford put out an absolute performance last night.
Christian Benford was, I mean, even Rasul, you can't even
Rasul
argue.
Douglas was, but for me, Christian Benford was insane last night.
And then even Cam Lewis, I mean, who would have thought Cam Lewis has another good night? I mean, I don't know how many good nights we have out of Cam Lewis until maybe somebody figures him out. If he does get figured out, I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but you're right. The cornerback room was outstanding.
Even DeMar Hamlin had I think, a phenomenal game.
He led the team with tackles.
Yeah.
I think Spector was right after him.
I think
Spector came in a little late.
Yeah.
So, defense-wise, I think the Bills are safe and sound. Obviously, the big talk going into the season was, man, the Bills lost a lot, didn't they? They're going to finish last in the division, maybe third if they're lucky. And now the defense looks as sound as it's ever been. We're 2 weeks in, and it's been great. Maybe gave a little bit more to Kyler, but it's fine. It was week 1. Now we're week 2, and you're playing this high-powered offense. The pressure they brought to Tua was fantastic.
Von Miller.
Von Miller was looking
His,
like Von
He
Miller.
looks like Von.
I'm trying to remember the stat it was, but it's
He's on pace for 17 sacks.
yeah. Von Miller's like fastest get off time since 2021, which was the year the Bills brought him in.
Yeah.
Or the year we brought him in the year after.
And
Yes,
then, I
the
mean,
year
he's
after.
also now 18th on the all-time sack list.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks
He
looks
good.
amazing. I mean, he put his money where his mouth was. He took the pay cut. He said, "Hey, I understand I'm not to my standards. You guys don't deserve to be paying me this much."
And he figured it out in the offseason.
He did. He did.
Whatever training he did, like on his personal time, and when he came back to OTAs and training camp in itself, I mean, good for you, Vaughn. You're back, and honestly, he might be our best pass rusher right now. I know Greg is off to a hot start, but Vaughn just looks different right now.
If Vaughn can keep it up, he'll be the best pass rusher you guys have.
Well, I think the big thing too that you don't think of is that who are teams going to double team now? You have Daquan up the middle,
yeah,
who is big enough to take two guys. You have Greg on one side. You have Vaughn on the other. I mean, Greg already has 3 sacks this season. Vaughn already has 2. I mean, yeah, you can probably say we're not going to double Ed, but I mean, even if you single out Ed,
probably the
Ed
one guy
can
you
still
should
get
never.
through. I mean, for being a small D tackle, as every analyst likes to say, oh, he's really small for his position size, and yeah, he still gets through. I mean,
Ed's the one guy you should double.
right? It's really hard, I think, now for opposing defenses to. If Vaughn is back to his form, like we're all hoping and it continues, who are you going to choose? I mean, you're going to have to choose. And what happens on a blitz? I mean, what if they send a wrap down?
you saw what happens last night. You saw what happens.
Yeah, you get a sack.
You get a sack, or
Or it's a pressure.
Tua just I don't even know how or why he is too good of a football player to make that kind of throw.
The lob over Robbie Chosen.
The lob.
Yep.
So didn't even get it out to the sideline, just straight into who got the pick for that one?
Jamarcus Ingram.
Yeah. So I don't know how you're in the NFL. You can be in the NFL that long and be that good, and then kind of make that decision. That's the pressure that the Bills were bringing to him.
If I had to find a negative in yesterday's game, it's actually a positive. The Bills played a near perfect game. I mean, the 2 interceptions, one was a deflection that went up in the air. Tua should have never thrown a ball, and it ended up in the end zone. We gave up no sacks, no interceptions, no fumbles, 1 penalty for 5 yards, and then we knocked their quarterback out of the game. I mean, they did have more yards than us, 104. The game started off looking like Arizona last week, but somehow the defense just, I don't know, they became somebody I hadn't seen yet this season. And then I don't know if you've seen Allen, but it looked like his fingers were taped together. Like maybe he did bust something there.
Yeah.
These 2 fingers.
Yeah, they
exactly. I forget what these 2 fingers are called.
The 2 middle fingers.
But that's definitely, I mean, a negative that would
you
be a
saw
positive.
actually. I forget what snap it was. It was earlier on in the game when Allen was in shotgun. He took the snap back from McGovern and he tried catching it with both hands, but his 2 middle fingers that were taped actually were the first point of contact on the football.
Yep.
Oh,
which didn't allow him to pull it in cleanly, and that's why the ball was bobbled on the snap. He picked it up and I'm pretty sure he just threw it out or something.
Yeah.
Or he ran for like a yard. I forget.
Yeah.
He rolled right with it.
Yeah.
Tossed it away.
And it was funny, too. I remember seeing a tweet after that going fumbles by Josh Allen. And it's like, he didn't lose the ball. I don't care if he fumbled. If he doesn't turn over possession, I could care less if there's a fumble.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, most sports fans can agree a fumble is bad, but the change in possession is worse on a fumble than keeping it.
Yeah, especially because he picked it back up, and then he didn't lose any yardage. He just threw it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem there. I don't care if he threw it out. I mean, that's what a smart quarterback does, understands, hey, I don't have as much time to look. I need to move or throw it as fast as I can because I know I just wasted about 5-6 seconds of my line guarding for me. And those defensive ends or D tackles are closing in quicker than normal because they saw the ball go. So,
Yeah. But Josh Allen, he was also balling out. He went 13 for 19, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, rating of 107. Josh Allen is good. And what was the one? It was, I think, to get him into the red zone where he split like double coverage to, I think, Shakir. I don't remember for sure.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
remember
that it was in the middle of the field?
Yeah,
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
I think
okay,
Ramsey
I remember
was,
that one.
Yeah, and then just cooking Jalen Ramsey the entire night.
And then even, cooking Jalen Ramsey, Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson cooked Jalen Ramsey. In what world did we think we would be able to say that? Our second or third string running back, depending how you like to look at it. I still like to think second, but he got up the field. He isn't a catching running back. I mean, I don't think of Ty Johnson as that great of a catching running back. I know he can do it, but I'm not like, oh, please, Ty Johnson, please do it for me. And that he was able to gain separation and get to the one, too. I mean, you can't be unhappy with that. And, it's funny, too, because PFF saw that, too, and they gave him the 4th highest grade on the Bills' offense.
Really?
Ty Johnson, 75.6.
He had 1 catch for 33 yards. They gave him the highest? They gave him the 4th highest?
They gave him 4th highest.
Hey, I hate PFF. Listen, it was cool. He had his moment, cooked Jalen Ramsey for 33 yards. Wasn't the 4th best player for the Bills that night.
Well, could you guess the best player for the Bills overall that night?
James Cook.
Von Miller.
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh.
On the offense. Just on the offense. Sorry.
Offense?
Just on the offense.
And
it was just Dalton Kincaid, 87.8. Then James Cook was 87.3. Josh Allen was 77.1. Ty Johnson, 75.6. Alec Anderson at 69 exactly.
listen.
And then the worst 3 were Deion Dawkins, Osiris Swords, and David Edwards.
Well, yeah.
That's fun.
How did they come up with the number?
They
it
have
based
an
on?
algorithm that they run it through.
It's dumb. But no. Kincaid also had a little good night, but not as good as a night as James Cook. So I don't understand that.
Whoever said Von Miller, he did have the best overall night.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
On PFF, 90.7. And then Cole Bishop got an 85.9 for the limited time he played. Ed Oliver, 81.2. Christian Benford, 78.8. Jamarcus Ingram, 76.2. And then the 3 lowest were Dwayne Carter at 46.7. Dorian Williams at 43.4. And then Nicholas Morrow at 30. I don't remember seeing a lick of Nicholas Morrow last night. I didn't even know he was out on that field.
No clue.
I never heard a single thing from it.
I actually, earlier today, put out a tweet about notable defensive backs under Sean McDermott.
Oh, I saw that.
Just throughout his time since 2017. And I'll list off all the names I put down and what year they were brought in / drafted, or like what round and how they were brought here. Trey White, late first round. No guarantees could be a great player, but turned into all-pro Trey. Jordan Poyer, all-pro Poe.
Yeah.
Micah Hyde, all-pro. This is all 2017 brought in. Taron Johnson, 4th round draft pick. Cam Lewis, UDFA from University of Buffalo. Another University of Buffalo, Jamarcus Ingram, UDFA. Levi Wallace, UDFA. Dane Jackson, UDFA. Or no, sorry, Dane Jackson was a 7th round pick. Christian Benford, 6th round. Damar Hamlin, 6th round. EJ Gaines, remember that name?
Oh, my.
Number 2 corner on the playoff team that broke the drought.
Yep.
Free agent 2017. Not even $1 million contract. Pretty sure he got league minimum. And Rasul Douglas, traded for 2023.
Yeah. I mean, and just think how many of those guys who are off the team now getting contracts somewhere else. I mean,
Levi Wallace, Dane Jackson.
Dane Jackson, great paycheck for him from Carolina. How he just took money from a baby.
Trey White.
Trey White. I mean, yeah.
Poyer. Cook ran right past Poyer, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
more tackles last night.
Forgot about that little reunion they had. Even though it didn't look great. I forgot the play that he let up because it was on Poyer.
I don't remember which play it was. I do not.
Oh.
I know that Poyer, after the game, did not go and shake hands with the team. He did go straight to the locker room.
He went straight to the tunnel?
He did not want to.
I'm sure he saw them after the game.
I'm sure he probably, yeah.
He saw him before the game,
I mean,
too.
yeah, that was probably the thing, that he saw him before game, but.
Also, I bet they were. I think the second Tua was out. I think they were all checked out, and they just wanted to go to the back.
Yeah. I also believe that Poyer wanted to prove that McDermott and Bean should have paid him, and that they, even if it wasn't a lot, and it was just a 1-year contract, he still gets that 1-year contract. And Bills went, no, we understand you're at your age, and we don't want to pay you that much. We know what we're worth, and
I love Jordan Poyer.
Yeah, you can't, and there's no bad blood. I mean, he said there was no bad blood.
But the Bills, if they kept Poyer, that James Cook touchdown that you saw that took place against Miami could have easily have been Devon Achane against us.
Yeah.
Like, easily. I love Poyer, but at this point in his career, his instincts are there.
No,
He's still a smart player. Obviously, you can't get rid of instincts, right? You can't knock down someone's IQ. But when it comes down to the physical aspect of the game, not there anymore for Jordan. Not there anymore. Not there. You saw, James Cook. We know how fast that guy is. We know how he can bend around the corner very easily on a run. Poyer should have had him. Yep. Most, honestly, even younger backup safeties are getting Cook there, I think.
Yeah,
Cook,
I agree.
Poyer just doesn't have the speed to pursue anymore. He doesn't have that. He had a great pursuit angle. I wouldn't say great. He had a good pursuit angle, and he just couldn't get to it. It's not fast enough.
No, I think the big thing that it shows from the front office and the team is, I always talked about this, with my dad, where it's like whenever we talked about Bill Belichick and, players he would let go with like bigger names, a Jamie Collins when he was like still prominently being around, Kyle Van Noy for that little time being. I mean, they had tough spots after New England let them go. And then New England would bring them back like a year or two after. And still get like that last little bit out of their career that they thought they had left. And sometimes it worked. I mean, sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. But Bill wasn't ever wrong on that mostly. I would say probably right now Kyle Van Noy is the only one proving him purely wrong. And that I can see Brandon Beane do that and be like, we understand you're at that age. We understand that we're probably going to see the decline of your skills after this year. We're just not going to bring you back. And, too bad that you're a fan favorite and everything. We're going to let you go for the betterment of the team. It's not anything of you. It's, it's just your age. And I can't believe just that they were able to do that. I just can't believe that they were able to call the shot and be right, because it's so hard to do that in this league. So hard. And to see Brandon do it, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. But a little bit more good news for the Bills coming out of last night. Terrell Bernard, who we all feared, we saw him be pulled out of the game, head into the back. He's only suffered a pec strain, and it's around a grade 2 strain, so he's most likely going to just miss a month, which, it sucks for a player to miss any amount of time.
Could have been worse.
Could have been way worse.
You could have had a Daquan repeat, where we have to wait until playoffs, and then he's not at 100%.
Exactly. So now you get, you don't have Terrell Bernard for a month. Hopefully, if everything does go well like it's supposed to, he's out for a month. But I think even then, the defense will absolutely be able to, succeed without him for right now until he comes back. But no, that's pretty much, that's good news for the Bills coming out of last night.
Well, even so, Joe Andreessen might get the call. I mean, he's been
Monday Night Football in Buffalo.
He's been inactive the last 2 games.
But this is the thing. He'll play. He won't play on the field, but he'll play special teams because he'll take Dalen Spector's reps.
Yeah. No, he'll probably, he'll be out there.
You have to think he'll take Spector's reps if he, gets the active call.
Right.
Which I think would be awesome.
Yeah, especially Monday Night Football in Buffalo. The kid out there. Put the kid out there, Sean. What are you doing? Stop trying to make us wait.
Man, sorry, what?
What'd you guys think of Kirk Herbstreit's comments about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill moping on the bench there at the end of the game and not supporting their team?
So I can't actually attest to that because I was actually watching the game at Southern Tier, the sports bar, and you can hear the audio from the broadcast, but like when everyone's yelling and screaming, it's you can't really hear it. It's like almost being at the game. They're not.
Did you guys hear it?
I didn't hear the comments that he said.
I don't hear the comments.
Yeah,
what
he said.
Well, they showed, the two of them sitting there smirking, laughing and stuff, not standing up and, supporting the guys, after Tua got knocked out, the guys that were out there playing hard. And they were just like, laughing and stuff like that. And I thought he was kind of right.
Well,
I don't know.
If you are going to try to take that comment, I don't know what he said, so I can't make a comment on the comment. But I mean, if I'm looking at my number 1 quarterback just got hurt, we're not going to win this game. I mean, I think you can go to any NFL team and go, can your backup come in halfway through a game down 21 and win us the game No.
Let's preface.
I think maybe the only one who will maybe be able to say yes is Pittsburgh.
Let's also say that the backup is Skylar Thompson.
Right, Skylar Thompson.
Also, who we are very familiar with. His only career touchdown pass is against us.
Right.
In 7 games.
I mean, yeah, he's he's fine, but you're down 21. You're in the 4th. Or close to the 4th. I think like 2 minutes left when the injury happened.
Also, at that point, Tyreek only had 3 catches for like less than 40 yards.
The Bills in 2 straight games have held Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Trey McBride, and Marvin Harrison Jr. to under 100 yards total on about 14 receptions, I believe.
Yep, 13 catches, 99 yards.
Yeah, 13, even better.
Yeah, but I mean, you're also got to think about Skylar Thompson in this moment. Has he worked with the ones? No. Not in any way, shape, or form. I mean, yeah, you can put Tyreek out there with him. Yeah, you can put Waddle out there. But what good is it going to do?
Maybe it was just more a way they were carrying themselves out on the sidelines, getting pounded, and they were just laughing and having a good old time.
I mean, what else are you going to do? You can't mope the whole game. I mean, no matter how much you want to mope the whole game. I mean, I've done it where I've lost games horribly, and I'm still like cracking jokes. Like I could be, I remember a couple of soccer games where it's like you can't be mopey all the time. It's not the way to do it. It's like you still want to have fun while you're doing it. You're still playing a game that you love. If you're sitting there and talking to somebody, I mean, you could be talking strategy for next week. I mean, you already know this week's done. So, I mean, why not already look to Seattle next week?
Yeah, it's just one of those where you just kind of have to laugh at the situation you're in.
Yeah, it's kind of like just so many things went wrong, and I think that they didn't just have a game plan, or whatever the game plan was, either got 360'd by whatever McDermott and Babbage came up with.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they were expecting the pass rush to be that good.
Right, and I also think that not having Moser played a role into it, because I think Moser's a good runner. Jeff Wilson and Jalen Wright are not that great. I mean, Jalen Wright's a rookie, so jury's still in and out. Jeff Wilson is old as dirt. I mean, what is he going to do? I mean, that's why Achane was still getting the ball in the fourth
He had a
quarter,
heck of
which
a
is
game.
crazy.
Still getting the ball.
He was still getting the ball in the fourth, but I mean, and plus he was hurt with the ankle, so I know he could re-injure it. But I think it was also good to get gameplay for him because he could still test out cutting without less of a or more of a worry.
Yeah.
You know, he's not gonna get hit as hard from the backups. I mean, he's still gonna get hit hard.
Yeah.
But it's not as like, oh, we have to stop you here or else we lose this game. You know, you're just giving up and running the clock down.
Yeah, at that point. Also, I didn't see what was it, Hill and Waddle with the
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but I did see towards like the end of the game, Hill did not look like, it wasn't even like he looked upset. It did look like he was just, moping, but also like upset. Because you just saw Tua go down and they're already down 21. The game has gone awfully. So I didn't see that, but I did see, Tyree kind of, looking at the situation and, reflecting on it as they should. It was a bad game like gameplay wise, but also just, juju wise, not juju on that beat, but bad juju.
Not Juju Smith-Schuster.
McDaniel looked mystified, man. I looked at the poor guy. I'm like, this guy looks like he's going back to drinking.
Yeah,
didn't he?
He looked. I mean, his post game conference was just like, listen, I'm just worried about my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's honestly a really cool thing to hear about a coach say it was about his quarterback, especially because we know, the history now with Tua the past 2 or 3 years. We'll transition to this. We'll talk about it. And to know the history that Tua has with now concussions, and to see Mike McDaniel kind of be like, listen, the second he was out, yes, there was a football game happening, but if you looked at him on the sideline, you could tell nothing was on his mind except Tua.
Right.
And just making sure and just hoping that Tua made it to the hospital safely and that, he was going to be okay. We do know, I think the only update that's come out so far is that he was awake. He had full movement in all of his extremities, and he was talking. But other than that, I don't think we've had an update on Tua since. And that came out like probably like 3-4 last night.
Yeah.
So they haven't really released much of that. But, obviously now, this morning, if you looked around, ESPN, Bleacher Report, all of them, the big question coming out of it was, what does Tua do? And there's been a lot of conversations. Even Monte Teo, he was on ESPN this morning being like, listen, that's family. I've known him since I was a kid. I don't want to tell him what to do. But, I think it's time to consider it. And a lot of other players, I mean, Antonio Pierce from the Raiders just came out and was like, focus on your family. Like, this is 5 concussions in 2.5, 3 years it's not good. It's not okay. And people are pulling back, like, someone found a Joe Namath clip from the Howard Stern show, and he's like, I've seen guys deteriorate in 4 years after having just, a few concussions. It's like, you hear about that, and it's like, obviously, he has the love of the game, Tua, and you want to see him succeed. We're all, Bills fans. I don't like the Dolphins because it's in-state rivalry. It's always fun playing them. But this is a situation that you never want to talk about or, see happen unfold. So it does suck.
I think one of the worst things about it was how many times they kept showing it.
Yeah, that was bad.
I gotta admit, the one time, okay, maybe if somebody's just tuning in and it was a long break, okay, I understand that. But then to do it at like the end of the game,
yeah, they played it when we were walking out.
Yeah, I was like, what are they thinking? Like, I don't remember seeing Damar Hamlin being hit that many times from Bill Cincinnati. I don't remember seeing the video of him falling down. That video was like impossible to find.
Unless you went on X.
Right.
Nick Chubb's leg breaking last season.
Right.
They showed it once and then never showed it again.
Yep.
I don't remember them showing Tua's like a few other concussions this much.
Yeah. No, I think Al Michaels, I didn't hear this during the broadcast while we were at the Richardson.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's disgusting.
The comment about the hit with Damar and the Tua colliding, he said, a little irony there. He got hit by Damar Hamlin. You know that history.
Yeah,
come on.
You can't say
come
that.
on.
It's not even like Hamlin hit him, though. It's like he
No.
put
No,
his head
Hamlin-
down into his shoulder pads.
Tua went into his arm.
Yeah.
His arm.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't like look at Damar and go, oh yeah, that's Damar's fault. He went helmet to helmet.
Damar legitimately just stood there
Yeah.
and waited for him. And then, because I think someone made out a good point, is like, why didn't Tua slide? Because it's 4th and 4, you're on the red zone, and Tua may have not known how much yardage he got, and that he just kind of dove to make sure he got the first down.
Yeah, he ran his head more into Damar's chest pad. Never mind, it was more into the chest than the arm. But
it's more folded into his arm.
Right. But I mean, you can't. You know the history there. Come on.
That's such an off-putting comment to say.
Like, out of all the things, it's like, I like Al Michaels. But, like, the last couple of years, ever since he's joined Thursday Night Football, it's pushed more and more for him. There's been a bigger and bigger call of just, he needs to retire. He's done.
Yeah, you can't
He's
say
done.
You can't say like, oh, look at the irony there. He fell into Damar Hamlin. Now he's concussed. There's no irony there.
No.
There's no irony there. There's no need for that. But, now, we'll get into the big topic.
I'm not even talking about like Al Michaels just from that comment. Oh, he needs to retire. He's just not as exciting anymore.
No.
He seems like he's just not enjoying it. And he's just there to get money. Like somebody's forcing him to do it. More of his like deeper thoughts are coming out into games. Yeah, when you're doing a broadcast, you can't really. I mean, Frank, we've done broadcasts together. Harrington, I know you've done broadcasts here for Buff State Athletics, and it's like you can't, like, no matter how much you want to say, you still have to be positive. You still have to be factual.
It's got to be filtered.
You can't like try to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, it has to be filtered.
Yeah,
and
it has
that's
to
something
be
he doesn't put on.
I mean, you can't have negativity.
I mean, you can.
Well, but I'm not, if it's the local football team here, we're calling the game tomorrow. We can't be negative.
But also, even in that situation, you don't be negative like that.
You're right.
Yeah, no, definitely not in that spot.
But, we can get to the big topic, and it's because everyone's talking about it, and it happened during the Bills game, so I might as well, we should talk about it. What does Tua Tagovailoa do? Obviously, he has a few options. If he's somehow medically cleared and he comes back to play football and becomes QB1 again for the Dolphins, I think there's got to be some parameters put around him. People keep saying the Guardian cap. Test it out now. Truly make sure that it does what it does. But also, if he gets hit hard again, if he's knocked to the ground again, I really don't think the Guardian cap is going to stop his brain from moving around in his skull.
I think at the end of the day, you can't force him to wear the Guardian cap. That's A. You can't force him to do that. If you would have to force it, it would have to be in the NFLPA, and they would have to agree with it with the NFL, which they're not even close to doing yet. It's still way out of, discussions. But I mean, it's really, I think I just saw a clip, I forget from who, but he was on ESPN today. And he was talking about, like, when he retired, everybody thought it was for a toe injury. Yeah. It was more because he was starting to have, like, light sensitivity and
seeing
other
spots.
things. But at the end of the day, he said, what are we doing telling him what he should do? It's him deciding how much risk he wants to take. And it's also up to the doctors, what they tell him.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's up to two people, himself and the doctors. That's it. It's not up to the team. It's not up to his friends. It's not up to his family. It's up to himself and the doctors. If the doctors say that he can't go, he can't go. You can't make him go. You can't have that on your hands. You know what happens to him if he does. And if he doesn't want to go, I think everybody at this point, I mean, even maybe a little bit beforehand, could perfectly agree and go, that's fair. He's had 4 or 5 concussions. I mean, 4 before yesterday in the last 2 years, 3 years. I mean, I don't think anybody would have blamed him. I know people hate people who retire early. I mean,
Andrew Luck
got booed by the Colts fans when he retired early. I know Megatron did it because of conflict within the organization, but I think since it's just, and it even came to a point where the Bills too. I mean, if you remember Mitch Morse had a concussion problem through his time at Buffalo. I mean, he had a long period without a concussion, but at the later end, it seemed like the concussion problem was coming back. And you know, it's not a problem you want to have. You don't want the guy to, you know, get concussed that many times, where he did think about retirement. And of course, he's, you know, still taking the risk today in Jacksonville that he may or may not get a concussion again. And hopefully he doesn't. But Tua's have been way worse.
Yeah,
than
they
Mitch.
have.
I mean, you see
with the fencing.
the hands, you see the, you know, the fingers going in. I mean, I remember seeing last night that with the hand clenched and one of the arms going out, that he might have lost consciousness for like a couple of seconds, but he's still losing. You know, that what could be maybe 10 seconds to us could be like a 2-hour nap.
Yeah, that's
for him.
That's what they say happens in fencing. Like that's what when your body goes stiff, it's fencing. You lose consciousness for whether it's a split second, a second, 2 seconds. You do lose some consciousness, and he's had 4 of those now.
Yep.
And obviously, just want the best for Tua. If he's, you know, it's his decision at the end of the day. It's really no one else's. If he truly believes that he can go back out there and play football, and doctors are going to give him the okay, then come back out.
Yep.
Then play football. But if the doctors are warning you against this, there's also the option that he is forced to medically retire, which I think the Dolphins will do, and that'll pay him out the $124 million left owed. Which, it sucks that, a quarterback is such a young career, knock on wood, that maybe, he does come back.
Mm-hmm.
But, it is providing for his family, and he got to play in the NFL for Miami Dolphins. But
and he's got the guaranteed money too.
Exactly. If he's forced to medically retire.
And no one would criticize him for walking away if he had to.
But if he's cleared to play and retires, he doesn't get the 124. I just read it.
Yeah, if he's cleared and still decides to retire,
he loses it.
Yeah.
But if they say you can't go out, or officially for forcing you to medically retire from football, that's when he gets the money. But I mean, honestly, I don't even think this is like money anymore. This is just.
I mean, this is the 5th documented concussion, I'm pretty sure, since 2019 for Tua.
Yeah, and what's it take you to get cleared? Don't it take like 2 people now, not just one?
It's 10 days. So he's not even available to play next week.
No, he'll be out.
I mean, McDaniels has already said, how can he play? He's out. They're thinking of bringing in a veteran quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. That's one I've seen.
Ryan Tannehill.
That's what
That's what I want.
Reunion.
I keep. The meme from No Way Home where Norman Osborn is in the alleyway and his Green Goblin helmet is set up.
Oh yeah.
It's every Dolphins fan waking up this morning looking at their Tannehill jersey in the closet. He's out there, Ryan Tannehill.
He is. I've completely lost track after that.
Just truly just hope the best for Tua. It's his decision. If doctors say that he can play and he wants to play, that's your decision. But, just hoping and praying everything goes well for Tua.
Oh, there is one more thing from that game that I do really want to talk about. Because I think of how weird it was. What were the Dolphins doing on their last drive at the first half? before halftime?
Oh my God, yeah.
Where they wasted 3 minutes when they had 3 timeouts.
Took it down to like what, the 12 second?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot about
that. It
that.
was such a weird drive. I almost thought Anthony Lynn was over there.
It stunned us because we were both like, what is happening?
Right, and none of them were running. None of them were like trying to get set. Jonnu Smith was the only one who like ran to a ref to give the ball to.
By the way, Jonnu Smith career night in like the past 6 years. Congrats to him, bud. But that was such a weird drive.
It was. Going slow, walking, not really showing any sign of like we want to go out there and score before half. Like they already seemed like they gave up.
Like, you're down this much. You need a touchdown. But also they knew the Bills were getting the ball in the second half. But still put yourself in a winning chance here, Mike McDaniels. You still had 2 out there, so you can't put it on with that not having 2. You had Skylar Thompson out there. 2 was in there. Tyreek was barely used. Jalen Waddle was slightly used, but doesn't really do anything. Devon Achane was the best offensive player out there.
Yep.
It wasn't even, I think Jay Wright was not, no, Jay Wright.
Jalen Wright.
Jalen, yeah. He was out there for one of the drives. What are you doing? That was an awful drive by the Dolphins in the last literally 3 minutes to 0 seconds.
And they started to use Robbie Chosen and Dunza, I don't remember his name, but he was like the 4th wide receiver. They even started using their 3rd tight end, the Hill guy.
Yeah.
I remember that because Tua took a deep shot in the end zone and it went through his hands like a 3rd tight end should. Like, not all 3rd tight ends can catch bombs in the end zone. I really still don't understand what that drive was.
Zero.
They just didn't have anything planned for a 2-minute warning. I mean, I understand.
No urgency.
I mean, I understand you don't want the Bills to get the ball back. You're already down as much as you are. But you need to score. Like, they're going to get the ball back anyway, one way or another. What's going to stop them? I mean, they got 2 timeouts. If you rushed, maybe you get points at 1:30. You give them a minute 30. You just hope your defense can... And a defense can stall for a minute 30. And maybe even worse, if you understand, I mean, I've seen the Bills offense do this where they do maybe 1 or 2 plays, and if it just doesn't go their way, kneel it out. Like, there's no worry. There should be little to no worry on scoring a little bit early. But it must have been, we have no faith on defense. We don't believe our defense can stop them. We need to just take this to halftime and have Jason Sanders kick a field goal.
Yeah,
a chip shot field goal.
Using their clock management, I say in air quotes.
Yep.
They used all 3 minutes to get 3 points.
Yep.
You were in the red zone for like what it felt like a minute and a half of that.
Forever.
And you're targeting Robbie Chosen in the red zone. Former Jet, Cardinal, Carolina Panther. God, where else has he been? I'm trying to think.
You said Cardinals?
Cardinals, Panthers, Jets.
Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins now.
I don't remember anything else.
Not the Saints.
But no, Robbie Anderson, Robbie Chosen. I don't understand how he got any targets in the red zone when you have Achane, Waddle, and Hill. How is that happening?
Because he was the chosen one.
He was on the San Francisco 49ers for a little bit this year.
What? Practice squad, right?
Practice squad.
Okay.
Yes.
Still wild that they even decided to put him on their practice squad.
Yeah, off-season and or practice squad member only. So,
well, I guess
he was still there.
I guess they saw something in Robbie Chosen that.
Yeah, he went from Miami to San Fran and back to Miami.
God, what a wild player that is.
And he's still only on their practice squad. He had to be called up. Yeah, Robbie Chosen had to be called up last night. He's not on the active roster.
God. Miami's just dumb. But also, I can speak for Dolphins fans. So far, I've seen no real negative, because I'm on Miami sports side of Twitter. So I was showing
Mr. Florida Panther.
I was showing Dan last night, and then I got some more this morning of just a lot of my Panthers, followers and just people I acknowledge on Twitter, just posting, "Hey, don't worry, Finns, we still got the Cats." I go, I don't like the Dolphins, but we still got the Cats. Even the Panthers this morning tweeted out, it was the Stanley Cup on the beach, and like a real beautiful sunset happening in the back. Just says good morning, just to remind people that, hey,
like, it's okay.
Because even though I'm not a Dolphins fan, I'm not a U of M fan. I was bandwagon Heat fan, but I'm no longer anymore. I'll admit it. Florida Panthers like the really only thing I have towards Miami. It's good to remind them that, hey, we have something. Keep yourself in good spirits. We've got something cooking here. And just, we'll get to it. We're reaching the top of the hour here soon. Probably take a quick little break here. And when we come back, we're about to head into week 2. A beautiful Sunday slate for you. We'll be right back here on WBNY, The Blitz on Buffalo. Oh, my.
Are you okay?
No.
Are you having a stroke?
I can't. Left side works. Right side works. We'll be right back. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Hold on. This
trying to hold that in forever.
What were them call letters again?
This is dissolving into chaos. Why can't I think of the call out?
WBNY.
No. You'll be right back. Listen to WBNY Buffalo, Buffalo's original term since 1982. We'll be right back after the short few messages.
How do you spell Texans? That's 6 letters. That's 6 points. And you know how many points are in a touchdown? Boom! 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 And don't forget the extra point. Boom!
Ja, just me, die Miami Dolphins. Ja.
Wow.
Das ist gut.
Die sind gut, ja. Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh, wait, no. Give me the Chiefs.
It's Friday at 3 o'clock. You know what time it is. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! I remember the King winning, and they are going to demolish a team that is idiotic, horrible, bum, and by the end of it, you Jacksonville Jaguars will learn to bow down to the King!
I mean, I would say the Colts are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm joking.
So is there bias going into this? Of course there is! It wouldn't be the Blitz without it! Welcome in to the Blitz Picks!
Welcome back to WBNY Buffalo, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982. I'm still your host, Frank the Tank. Yes, it is Friday, and with Friday comes the glorious light of Sunday NFL football. And joining me in helping making these tough decisions in Studio A is everybody's favorite, Double D Dan Dale.
Hi, buddy.
In Studio B, we still have Joey Cheese.
I'm still here. Yep.
It's still right next to him. Everyone's favorite media man, Evan Harrington.
Well, I'm not here. You guys can't see me.
John Cena? Listen, you can't leave yet. The retirement tour hasn't happened. But yes.
Wait, you guys say it's Friday? Is this considered top 40?
It has to be.
Is it?
No.
it's
Rebecca
okay.
Black Friday hasn't been top 40 since 2012.
Yeah, yeah.
She has not reached top 40 since in 12 years.
I love how he now has to find the part. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, okay.
If anyone remembers that song, if you're listening, you either had a kid that listened to that, you either listen to that, or you're probably in your mid-20s like us. And you listened to it growing up. Do you remember that song?
No, I've never heard.
Oh.
You never heard Friday by Rebecca Black?
Wow.
Nope.
Oh, so Joy, I guess a little backstory on this. I only played it because it's Friday. So what? Yeah, it's 2024. So this has been 2012. So kind of like this would be 5 or 6 years after YouTube came out originally. And mind you, like there's still some weird stuff being uploaded to YouTube, right? I don't think there was a complete foundation yet for YouTube. No. People were still trying to scope it out for what they could upload. And this girl named Rebecca Black just posts this song called Friday. And I mean, it's a very cringy song.
It's bad.
It's back 12 years ago. It was a little catchy of a bop. Like, it, had a nice little like musical, whatever. 172 million views.
Wow.
And she was like, she blew up. I mean, I don't know what she's doing nowadays. I don't know how far it actually carried her. But, I mean, 172 million views and the thing blew up. And it's still remembered over a decade later. It's just one of those like little flashback Friday songs.
So Monday we'll be playing Rainy Days and Mondays Always Bring Me Down.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
See, that's from my era.
But yes, NFL Sunday this weekend. We've got some picks to make, but there is just one little thing. We'll get into picks. We'll make it time. But it's like one of those companies like Bleacher Report where they do their quarterback power rankings. They put out a list, and I'm upset.
I'm upset.
Mahomes, Allen, and Jackson are 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford 4. Prescott 5. Stroud 6. Joe Burrow 7. Herbo 8. 9 is Kyler Murray. 10 is Jalen Hurts. They have 32 is Malik Willis. 31 is Deshaun Watson. And 30 is Daniel Jones. Yeah. You can pretty much guess. You want to know where they have Baker Mayfield?
22nd.
18.
Oh.
18 heading into week 2. What are we doing?
Baker's 18?
If we're doing power rankings based on the season so far, Baker Mayfield is a top 5 quarterback statistically.
He is.
No one can tell me otherwise.
I would put him in the top 10. I would put him over Herbert, right? Herbert's in there?
Herbert's at 8.
I would take him over.
If we're doing
Herbert.
season, I'm putting
guys, come on.
What do you mean?
I would take it.
We're taking Baker over Herbert?
I would take
for
Baker
the season, right? We're talking. Listen,
for just
for
this season.
For a week 1 performance?
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, week 1 performance, but I love Baker, but they played the Commanders.
Yeah, whoa. And Herbert played the Raiders.
A division rival. That's a different type of matchup.
Nah. It is. But
and the Raiders are like a tough squad. They're,
Well, they're
mind
tough
you, Herbert
mentally.
really ain't throwing anyone either.
Also, Minshew cooked. I thought Minshew had a good game. They put Bo Nix ahead of him. So I don't know what company who they work for. I don't know if that's an independent, if they're a branch under someone.
But fired.
Gone.
An independent.
Please.
Kicked out of the office, and now pack your things because we say so.
But now it's one of our favorite segments here at the Blitz. It's Blitz
picks.
Bro, I cannot.
You can't talk today, can you?
I can't. I cannot. But it's Blitz picks. There we go. Got out of my mouth already. God. We'll start on a little visit over to, I believe, Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the Seattle Seahawks are taking a flight over to face Jacoby Brissett and those New England Patriots. We'll go around. Joey Cheese, I'll start with Dan.
Yeah, I went first last week.
He did.
Let's reverse it.
Yeah, sure. I think I always call Jacoby Brissett Jacoby Brisket, and he is the worst brisket on the board.
All right.
Somehow they sneaked away with a win. No one knows how they did it, but they did it. And it's not going to happen again in probably until week, 13, when they face some bum team at some point,
Like the Bills. I'm kidding.
But I think Seattle has too good of a defense. I mean, the only reason the Broncos were in as much as they were was because their punter was able to dot the ball right at the one.
Yeah, he was killing it.
He was, and you can't argue that. And they capitalized with 2 safeties. New England just isn't good. I mean, I don't care if you want to say, oh, they beat the Bengals and Jamar Chase is still in his little headspace that they're the team to beat. Really, they're a team to beat right now. And I just think Seattle is just going to expose everything. Mayo got lucky, first time head coach luck. Geno Smith going to Foxborough. I think he still has something to prove. DK, Tyler, JSN, they didn't get used that much. Walker's a little bit hurt with an oblique, so might see more Charbonnet. But who doesn't like some Charbonnet?
Love
with
me
their
some Zach
canine.
Charbonnet.
So, give me Seattle.
I'll go. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
Because, yes, the Patriots are coming off a win against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's week 1 Bengals. It's early season Bengals. We've seen this now for 3 years in a row. Bengals don't start off too hot. So, yes, it's a good win for the Patriots. Good little ego boost for them up in Foxborough. Good little, chip on the shoulder for Gerard Mayo. But don't let it last too long. I think the Seahawks have a way better defense. Tariq Woolen and Devon Witherspoon are absolute studs. And plus, if K9 is hurt, I really like Zach Charbonnet. I think he has a future as an RB1 here in the league. And also, DK Metcalf is, once he's used properly and Geno is able to find him, it's a really good team in the NFC. So I'm going to go Seattle over Patriots.
Call me crazy. I'm going to go New England.
Really?
You're crazy.
I think New England wins their first 2 games of the season. Now, after that, there's a lot that's going to go downhill. But honestly, I think DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN are going to get locked up by the Patriots secondary this Sunday. I don't think it's going to be pretty for Geno Smith and the Seahawks. I'm not saying that Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots are going to go out there and light the world up and put up 30 points on them, but it's going to be something similar to the game like the Burrow and the Bengals game, where you're going to have to make key defensive stops. You're going to have to win the special teams battle. And I just think there's some sort of rally around Gerard Mayo right now. And he's getting the best play out of his team. Now, will it last? Probably not, but it's a fun couple of weeks for Patriots fans.
I think it was a 1 week bit of fun, and I think it's going to end this week with Seattle winning at Foxborough.
But you're here first, brother. You know what? I'm just not gonna. We're gonna get to the next game. I can't not speak.
Brother does not have a mouth.
Brother. Next game, we'll go up to a little NFC East action. The bum of the NFL, New York Giants, take on the Washington redacted commies. Dan, this is all you.
Jaden Daniels! That's it. Just go. Run, Jaden, run! Run for your life, because that's all this team depends on. I don't believe in Danny drops. I mean, he just drops big piles of poop on the field every week.
Hey, but he had a beard for a hot second. That was cool.
Yep. Sure. And then Malik Neighbors is supposedly hurt, and now he's healthy. I don't know what that was all about.
I think it was switched to questionable now officially.
He was questionable. Now I saw on ESPN he's now listed active. I don't know. It's weird, but I don't trust a knee injury when I see it. So they got nothing else going for him. Singletary was a non-factor last game. Who else do the Giants have?
Sexy Dexy.
I mean, on the offense.
Oh, don't know.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
Not a clue.
At least I know Jaden Daniels for Washington. So give me Jaden Daniels. That's the only man making this pick for me.
I am also going to hop on the Commanders bandwagon for this one. I love Jaden Daniels. I think he played well in week 1. Gave me a little bit of a scare there. Obviously, Bucs are able to pull away from it, but it's fine. The only thing that scares me about the Commanders is not using Terry as much as they did in week 1. You can't have Terry McLaurin not be used at all. So, I mean, they're going to win. But I think if they really want to beat the brakes off the Giants and Danny Pennies, you have to incorporate Scary Terry in there somehow. And if they do, I think they'll win convincingly. If they don't, they'll still win. Evan?
I am going to take the Commanders in this one.
Right. I thought for sure you were going to say Giants.
I mean, there's no hope here with the Giants. I really would like to see Brian Dable and Joe Shane succeed here with Danny Dimes and Devin Singletary and all the other pieces here in New York, but there's no hope, man. There is literally no hope for Giants this season. I have no hope for them. I have no instilled thought that they're going to do anything farther this season. Heck, they might really actually go 0-17. Give me the Commanders.
I myself will make it a clean sweep with the Commanders against the Buffalo Bill rejects there.
Rejects.
All right, we'll head over to... We'll go over there. The Los Angeles Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, and Justin Herbert take on the somehow shorter than Frank the Tank, the Blitz Frank the Tank, Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young.
Oh, God. This is toilet bowl of the week. I think this is even worse than Commanders Giants. Any game with Carolina is a bad game. It's just, no. It's not good. Not good. Chuba Hubbard's there. Woo! I don't trust anybody else, but I'm not taking Carolina anyway because J.K. Dobbins would run Chuba Hubbard to the ground. And I'm going to make a prediction.
Uh-oh.
Gus the Bus, 2 touchdowns.
All right, punishment. You have to do a shot of Buffalo Pepsi without the Pepsi. Just straight hot sauce.
I'm not like for or against that. I'm kind of like, I'm medium, but I'm not, we're not prepared for that yet. We're not prepared for the bets. We need to wait later in the season for the bets.
You just made one. Fine. Whatever.
What? What bet did I make?
You just said that Gus is...
I said a prediction.
Yeah, prediction, he said, not a bet.
Yeah, but that's the same thing that happened with, what, KJ Osborne?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, exactly.
That's KJ Osborne.
This is Gus Edwards.
It's Gus Edwards.
Difference.
Gus the Bus, man.
No difference.
Believe in Gus.
Sure. So who are you taking? Did you say it
Oh,
already?
Chargers.
Yeah.
All that for the Chargers?
All that for the Chargers.
It's like Thanos and Iron Man.
I'm taking
all that for a
San
drop
Diego.
Of blood.
Give me San Diego. That's how I'm going to refer to the Chargers from now on.
Who's that jumping out the sky? R-E-Y? Mysterio. Here we go. I'm going down to the 619 with you right there, Dan. Little Rey Mysterio action there for you. I'm going Chargers. Carolina, you are absolute bums. You take Dave Canellis away from the Buccaneers. Think all of a sudden Carolina Panthers fans come out of the woodworks when they get Dave Canellis all over. They're all over Bucs Tour going, oh my God, you guys suck now. Ha ha. What?
Give me the Chargers. Panthers are horrible.
Chargers are absolutely taking this
Bryce
over
Young.
Carolina.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't have an opinion on Bryce Young. I don't really know where to go from here because he does not have weapons. But at the same time, he's really not doing much with
but he
what is
has
around him.
Adam
I was going to say,
Thielen.
he has white boy Adam Thielen.
Yeah, and he has
give me the Chargers. J.K.
Pittsburgh
Dobbins.
reject Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, give me the Chargers in this one. J.K. Dobbins, another 100-yard rushing game. Herbert, 2 touchdowns through the air.
Buffalo Pepsi for him.
This looks like a terrible game when the total's 39.5, you know?
There's no way it gets to 39.
Total's 39.5?
That's all the total is, man.
Smash the under.
But I got to take the Chargers, too. I mean, I can't see the Panthers mustering up more than like 10 points.
How bold are you?
How bold?
Yeah. Picking the Chargers in this one. It's a bold take.
Well, it's not a bold pick. I mean, Carolina could, I don't know, they can't win. Give it a shot.
Were you about to say that Carolina could No, Joey, they cannot.
They'll win one somewhere. It happens.
Do they face Kansas
New
City
England
this
did
year?
Don't.
So, yeah.
Don't speak that into existence.
Where are we going next, Frank?
We are going over to the panhandle of the greatest state in the country, Florida. We're going over to Saxonville, where it's going to be the Cleveland Browns taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
R.I.P. Justin Bachman. He's not dead. He's just moving to the Shot Clock show. But for him, one final time. Probably not one final time, but yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville. I don't. Did you see Deshaun Watson throw?
I've been watching him throw balls since last year, and you know where I stand
horrid.
on him.
No. And if Jacksonville's defense plays like it did against Miami, I mean, even though they did screw it up in the end, Cleveland's not getting anything offensively. Nope. I think it's really Jacksonville's games to lose. Hopefully they don't just have Travis Etienne fumble.
Please, God, don't.
On the 1 yard line again.
For fantasy reasons, please don't let that happen.
Please don't let that happen. But yeah, I'll take Jacksonville.
I'm going to follow you right down there to old Duval County. I'm taking the Jags. You know how I stand on Deshaun Watson. I know we had a whole conversation about Tua, and you hate to see things like that happen. I think they're punishing the wrong person in the NFL. Bad things need to start happening to bad people. And one of those bad people is not getting punished enough. You know who he is. Deshaun Watson. Loser. But I'm absolutely taking Jacksonville over Cleveland. I thought Cleveland would be a much better team. So far, not proven it. Evan?
I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one. I just don't think that Cleveland has anything that Jacksonville should be afraid of, maybe outside of Myles Garrett and that potential game-changing defense that can make some plays. But outside of that, Deshaun Watson, I don't think he can even hit the side of a barn at this point. So just give me Jacksonville, and Bills and Jacksonville both going into week 3, into Buffalo 2-0.
Joey Cheese?
I, in my opinion, don't think Cleveland has anything to worry about in Jacksonville.
Whoa.
They both had 44 yards rushing from their top guys, Jerome Ford and Travis Etienne. I think Cleveland could actually do it with their defense and just a little bit of a solid running game. So give me Cleveland.
All right. Not hating it. Don't like it. Not hating it, though. We'll move over to those boys in Maryland. I almost said Massachusetts. My brain is high functioning, but at a wrong level. Oh, I know what's happening. I know what's coming. Las Vegas Raiders versus Baltimore Ravens. Hey, Dan, what's your pick for this one?
The King is back for week 2 of the NFL season. And he may have not have had that great of a game against Kansas City. I will admit he did have good rushing, but he scored a touchdown. It's not his fault. It's Baltimore's fault. It's everybody's fault but Derrick Henry's. Because Derrick Henry is the king. And the Las Vegas Raiders are not going to know how to gamble after this game. They better bet that Derrick Henry scores 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, and he's going to run wild on Max Crosby and shove that tattoo man to the ground like he deserves something.
Baltimore.
So, Dan, who are you picking?
Let me get it ready, just in case.
The King!
The King?
Baltimore.
Thank you, Dan, for that. Love the King bit. Yeah, I'm going to go Baltimore. I think Derrick Henry, because we saw Max Crosby get destroyed last week by Joe Alt. Who's to say Derrick Henry's not on the same level? Oh, wait, he's better. Because it's Derrick Henry, the King. And, you know what? I think Lamar and Isaiah Likely are going to have another, amazing synchronization this game. I know people want to see Mark Andrews, but if Isaiah Likely is the future at the tight end position for the Ravens, start building that early and start showing that progression now. Start getting him involved now. So I'm going to go Baltimore for sure.
I am going to have to go here with the Baltimore Ravens. I just think Baltimore He's going to bounce back here against the Raiders. And the Raiders, they'll be competitive in some games, but not against Baltimore. Baltimore looking to get back to 1-1 after dropping that one, nearly almost actually beating the Kansas City Chiefs, but not this time around for the Raiders. I got the Ravens winning.
The Raiders getting 9 points are going to need at least another 10, so give me Baltimore to beat down.
Oh, is that for the spread?
No, I'm just saying they're getting 9 in the spread, and I think they need another 10 at least.
Yeah.
So give me Baltimore for sure.
We'll move over to, I guess we'll do this one. New Orleans versus Dallas Cowboys. Boring game.
Is there a world that New Orleans wins?
No.
Yes. There is a world.
In Dan's mind.
Why?
It's just not here.
Oh, thank God.
It's really just not here. You put 47 on Carolina, whoop-de-doo, what are you going to do next? Throw a birthday party for Jamal Williams when he scores another touchdown and go, Pikachu!
I'll take a Pikachu cake.
In the Saints.
No, I think Dallas gets another win here. They're at home. Their offense looked fine. They faced a way better defense. CeeDee Lamb may still have some trouble. I mean, he's going from Denzel Ward to Marshawn Lattimore. So, Marshawn's good. I mean, he's locked down your guy, Mike Evans, a couple of times.
Mike Evans has beat him way more than he's been locked down. Marshawn Lattimore, I think, is questionable or out.
I believe he's probably questionable right now. So, I'm still going to take Dallas. Too high-powered of an offense.
Well, I think it's no surprise who I'm taking here. I have CeeDee Lamb in fantasy. I need CeeDee Lamb to break out for the season right now, and it has to be against the Saints. So I can go on Saints Twitter and start, poking fun at them, being like, haha, you really thought beating the Panthers was going to mean anything to you? No, losers. Derek Carr, your quarterback. Get out of my face.
He broke out in a rash. He's got poison ivy. He's out. You said you needed him to break out.
All I got to say is 3 words. We dem boys.
That's outrageous from you.
Evan, going with Dallas. I didn't like picking them last week, but they beat the Brownies. And
they destroyed them.
Yeah, they did destroy them. Okay, give me the Cowgirls this week again.
Whoa, Mr. Smith, call in. That's disrespectful to the Cowboys. Who's ever going to let that happen?
Okay.
We'll move on to the Indianapolis Colts versus the all out of love, somewhere without you, Green Bay Packers.
Pretty easy one here. I have the Colts defense in a couple of weeks here. So, I honestly believe Malik Willis is starting this game. They're getting killed.
He's starting the next several weeks.
Several weeks? I thought they were expecting week 3 or 4.
Well, several weeks can mean 3,
That's true.
4.
That's fair. But yeah, I believe in the Colts. Anthony Richardson, in the sense of
he's not a kid anymore.
Gridiron Heights.
He's not a kid anymore.
But so I still believe in Anthony Richardson. Michael Pittman, Pittman. Pittman could go baller here. Even though he's against Jair Alexander, so. But yeah, no way Green Bay wins this. If Green Bay wins this, this is worse than New England beating the Bengals last week. It is just, I don't think I will ever let a Colts fan, because I'm going to Indy for the Bills game.
For the Indy 500? Oh, sorry.
No, Bills game, dum-dum.
All right.
So when I see Colts fans, if they lose this game, I will never let them forget.
All right. So, without Jordan Love, 'cause I'm all out of love. Sorry.
Mr. Air Supply
there's not really, because Jordan Love was kind of the anchor being, a little Marvel reference in there for you. Anchor being to the Green Bay Packers. Now with him being out, is there much? Do you believe in Malik Willis?
Joe Hendry.
You didn't clap for Joe Hendry.
I had my hands full.
It's fine. I'll give you another opportunity. I'll find a way to sneak it in.
Okay.
I'm going Indianapolis. I love Anthony Richardson. I was very high on him for the first 3 games of the season last year. Obviously, that he didn't make it through the rest of the season, but it doesn't matter. I love Michael Pittman. I love Anthony Richardson. And I love Pat McAfee's tweets every time they score going, the Colts are winning the Super Bowl, because that's outrageous. But I'm taking Colts over Packers for this one.
Yeah, give me the Colts in this matchup. And I really think this is like almost the best possible matchup for the Colts in week 2, because obviously they lost that heartbreaking game against the CJ Stroud-led Texans in week 1, 29-27. And a lot of the plays that the Colts capitalized on were splash plays. They capitalized on a lot of good down-the-field throws by Anthony Richardson. And in week to week, that just isn't, it really isn't easy to duplicate, right? And what I think the Colts are going to be able to do in this matchup with a Jordan Love-less Packers is really try to control the clock. Use Jonathan Taylor. Let Richardson work the underneath intermediate parts of the field more and get more comfortable. And yes, Richardson, take those deep shots. You're going to be able to hit those at any point in time in the game because you're just that good. You have that skillful of arm talent, and you're one of the more physical beasts in the National Football League. But I would love to see the Colts kind of rebound here and control the clock, control the game, and work Richardson in because he's played 5 games in his career. So let's get him worked in a little more.
Okay.
Joey Cheese, we obviously know this one holds much appeal to you.
Yeah, and from me following all my sites, actually Jordan Love is not listed out for this game. He's doubtful. There's talk that he could play. What? Which I think is ridiculous. They put him out there. No, he's not listed out. He's doubtful. And Josh Jacobs, the running back, is listed as questionable.
Oh, my God.
If both of these guys played, yeah, I'd pick the Packers.
Yeah.
But I can't see them sticking Love back out there.
And without Josh Jacobs,
Yeah. So I'm going to have to go with the Colts.
That's a hard thing to sell without Jordan Love or Josh Jacobs. We'll move on to the Bay. We'll go to San Francisco 49ers versus those Minnesota Sam Darnold Vikings.
This is the only time I'm doing it. I'm not even picking them. I do not believe in Sam Darnold. I do not believe Sam Darnold is going to have a revenge game. Remember, he was with them for a very short time being. But Brock Purdy knows what he's doing. I think even with CMC probably out, still horrible by Kyle Shanahan and that whole San Francisco 49ers front office to mislead every fantasy football owner who had the first overall pick.
Yep.
All I can say to the first overall pick holders, sucks to be you. But I still think Jordan Mason did really well in relief. The inclusion of Deebo Samuel in the run game a little bit more. I know he usually is, but it felt like it was more against the Jets. Really, Minnesota only looked good because it was against the Giants. I mean, come on. When are we ever going to see Sam Darnold have that good of a game in that again? He started, 15 for 15 or something? He had some crazy stat line for most of that game. I think he finished of 19 for 24. I don't think he's ever going to pull that off again. I just don't think he is. And this game is just going to... Leonard Floyd, Nick Bosa. Sam's screwed. Sam is screwed. He's going to be seeing ghosts.
Listen, this is a revenge game for Sam Darnold.
Don't you dare.
It is a revenge game.
Don't you dare.
Remember when all the reports were coming out
don't you dare.
Sam Darnold's actually looking pretty good during training camp. Actually looked kind of decent during preseason, then obviously never plays. Now he gets the opportunity to start. Now he gets to start, a new arc, a new era in Minnesota.
And you can go on a new era of this pick.
No. That's why I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers. Because...
There we go. There it is.
Love Sam Darnold. The Ghostbuster himself. Mr. Mononucleosis. But Minnesota ain't stopping... What is it? Fred Mason? What's his name?
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason.
Fred Mason.
I'm gonna need you.
All right.
I'm gonna need you to calm down, Evan. All right. Jordan
Through the
Mason.
window.
Debo is absolutely gonna be fine. Ayuk, get it together. They paid you after your whole debacle. Stop it. Get back out there. And Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, whether we want to admit it or not. And that defense is top 2, top 1 in the NFL. Is he whiff? What's going on? What is he doing?
Don't ask me.
What is he doing?
Look, I've known this guy a little bit longer than you.
Exactly.
I still don't understand everything he does.
He's getting ready to pick the Vikings.
I'm going San Francisco 49ers.
Minnesota.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna take the 49ers in this one.
All right.
I mean, don't get me wrong though. I still think Sam Darnold's on a trajectory of potentially getting a bridge deal with Minnesota. I think he's gonna have a solid year with the Vikings, but it's really hard to put that in full retrospect when you're going up against arguably the best team in the NFC, coming off a very dominating performance against the Jets on this past Monday on Monday Night Football. But yeah, I mean, give me the 49ers in this one, CMC or not. You got Fred Mason, apparently that's the guy's name. But you got Jordan Mason. You still have Deebo Samuel. We didn't really see Ayuk really get into the full swing of things. We saw Juszczyk get in the fold a little bit. Obviously Kittle, the best tight end in football right now. But yeah, we'll see. I think the 49ers. But don't be surprised if Darnold makes a few throws and tries to keep it competitive.
I like San Francisco in this game for sure. I mean, they got all the talent in the world. They got a solid quarterback. The receiving core is top notch. The defense is there. The coaching's there. And no reason for them to lose.
All right. And our second to last 1 p.m. game, I'm saving the last one because that's what I can do as host. We're doing the New York Jets versus the Tennessee Titans. Both are 0-1. Dan.
Spike, I'm so sorry.
All right.
No, I'm not. No, why did I say I'm sorry? I'm not. Why would I lie? Why did I do that? There's no... Give me the mailman!
Give me warning.
You heard of the milkman? You're gonna learn about the mailman! I believe in Will Levis. I don't know. Will Levis looked more impressive than Aaron Rodgers because at least Will Levis didn't get replaced by Tyrod Taylor. Let's just end it at that because I don't believe in the Jets. I don't like the Jets. I don't need the Jets to win. Take Mayo Man. Mayo Man to the top. Raising the roof.
J-E-T-S. Jets. In week 2, go 1-1 as they beat the Tennessee Titans. Are you kidding me? This team is way too good to start 0-2. They didn't look great. Aaron Rodgers didn't look great. Garrett Wilson, for the time he was fine. I think Breece Hall needs to start picking things back up, But, I think the real, I'm not too worried about the offense. It's the defense that I'm more worried about because they didn't really put up much of a fight except for the first 2-3 drives that they faced the 49ers. So it's kind of need the New York, can't say what I named them in fantasy on here.
You cannot.
No, I cannot.
That one word you cannot say.
That's wild that I can't say that, but I can say anything else. But no, I'm going to go Jets. I think the Jets start 1-1. They have a good comeback game. I think Aaron Rodgers, balls out. Not to the MVP level that we know him as, but, enough to get the win over, a not-so-good Tennessee Titans team.
I'm going to take the Jets in this game pretty convincingly. I don't really think Aaron Rodgers actually looked that bad last week. I thought he, obviously it was his first game in over a year. He's still not obviously the same Aaron Rodgers. You can't plant that foot. Obviously the one that got, or the ankle that got injured last year. But give me the Jets in this one. I think Aaron's going to have a solid game. Wouldn't be surprised if he went for 220 and 2 touchdowns and Brees Hall did some great things on the ground, and the defense is going to do the defense usual. Give me the Jets in this one. They start 1-1.
I like the Jets also. There's no way they can lose 2 games to start the season. Because
imagine this. I know you're about to go here, but imagine the Patriots are like 1-1 or 2-0 or 1-1, and then the Bills are 2-0. Obviously, where they're at now. Miami's 1-1. Tua's season career is in jeopardy, and the Jets start 0-2. Man, talk about a narrative shift that would be.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a great season within the division. Yeah, I like the Jets. Almost, what Evan said there. I like Rodgers maybe throwing for a couple. Brees having a big game. And hopefully the defense steps up for them too.
Next game. We'll move on to the 4 o'clock slate. Because I'm saving the last 1 o'clock game for me.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, they're losing. Get over it.
Hey, calm down.
Okay. Maybe.
We don't know yet. We're gonna go into what I think is probably the toilet bowl of the week. The Pittsburgh Let's Weld Steelers versus the greatest quarterback in the NFL in Denver Broncos.
Look, when Justin Fields is Justin Fields, he becomes Bustin' Fields. It's not because he's a bust, but because he's busting his butt down that field. I think Pittsburgh does it. I think they start 2-0 shockingly. I think TJ Watt, he is the man of that defense. And they just really locked down Atlanta, which I had a lot more hopes for. I think they would, in everybody's mind, would have scored more than 10 points. But especially now against a rookie QB with only one good wide receiver and one good cornerback. I can't even name another good person on the offense because it's just not possible.
George Pickens.
Fryermuth.
Well,
I
meant for Denver.
Oh,
yeah,
for Denver.
Talking Denver.
I meant for Denver.
Never mind. I'm lost on the
Javonte
You're
Williams,
lost.
McLaughlin, Cortland Sutton.
Is Samaje Perine on that team?
No, he's on
No,
Kansas
he's
City.
on Kansas City now.
I don't think he was ever on the Broncos.
But no, I believe in Bustin' Fields. I think he's gonna bust his butt. Maybe win the starting job. No, it would be funny though. It would be funny.
I mean, honestly, like
Not out of the equation.
he took them past midfield 6 times and got them within the other team's territory 6 times. Some games, 1 or 2 of those turn into touchdowns. That's enough for Mike Tomlin to turn the page and go, maybe this Justin Fields kid isn't too bad.
So yeah, give me Pittsburgh.
Don't hate it. You know who I love though?
Who
Dan,
you
you know
love?
who I love.
Bo
I've been
Nix?
saving it for a while now. I love Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I loved him in Oregon. I loved him in preseason. Hated him week 1 because, my God, I'm going to love him week 2 when he dismantles the Pittsburgh defense. Slicing him up with Cortland Sutton because those two need to get on the same page real quick or it's the Denver season is already over more than it already is. Don't know how you can bury something that's already 6 feet under, but they'll find a way. But if Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton can figure it out, I truly believe that Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos are going to walk and stomp all over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, the only thing they're going to walk is the plank because the Steelers are going to win this one. Until we see something out of Bo Nix, I don't actually believe that the Broncos are going to be able to do anything. I really don't. And I like the Steelers in this. I like the better coach football team. Sorry, Sean Payton, great offensive-minded coach, but can't beat that stability and the consistency that Mike Tomlin has instilled within that Pittsburgh, culture and identities. Yeah, give me the Steelers. I think Justin Fields can have a decent game.
Yeah, earlier
3 touchdowns. Najee Harris, by the way, book that.
3 touchdowns.
Buffalo Pepsi.
Well,
2 Buffalo Pepsi.
So, anyways, we talked earlier about Tomlin, having a 500 season again this year in that tough division. When the tough divisions become garbage with Cleveland not being able to do nothing, Cincinnati not doing nothing, and we're looking at the Steelers going 2-0. I mean, even if they can't get a touchdown, Boswell in that stadium alone, he could kick another 6 field goals. some long ones up in Denver. So I'm taking Pittsburgh.
All right. Well, no, I'll do this one. It's the last 425 game. It's a heavy hitter.
No, it's not.
It's shut your mouth.
It was
A
supposed to be.
rematch of the AFC Championship game from 2 years ago? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, move on.
Well, thank you, Dan. I'm gonna help the Bills out here. Because if every year was supposed to be the year for the Bills, this is the first time where I'm like, this is the year. And you know what they need to do it? Is be the number 1 seed. And for that alone and nothing else. Also, as I trade away Xavier Worthy and I don't need him to do anything. I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Man, this is a tough game because I really don't know how to read the Bengals currently.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what happened with them week 1. I know there was a couple mishaps, like the fumble by the goal line and stuff like that that kind of hindered their game plan. But this is Kansas City. Kansas City does not lose to teams like that. They just don't. If you're going to want to beat Kansas City, you're going to have to play dang near your best game of the season because they are a very well-coached and well-oiled machine, and they don't break down really at all. I want to take the upset here, but I'm just going to have to go with Kansas City until I see Burrow back into the swing of things and Chase get going, Higgins going, that running game going. I got to see it because I just don't like what I see so far.
Any more predictions? Okay. Andy Reid and Mahomes are just on the same page all the time, and just I don't see them losing to the Bengals at home.
So you're going Chiefs?
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
All right. I'll be the loner here for that. Just trying to help you guys out. God.
Shut up, Frank.
And then we'll go to the Sunday night football game. A fun one. What could be a fun little game? The Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans.
Houston, move on.
What is that? What do you mean just Houston, move on? You can't throw the mic.
I can throw the mic as much as I want. It's against Caleb Williams, who threw for, 93 yards? A whole 7 yards less than the football field?
Hey, but because of his mentality and aura, they won.
Yeah, because of his pink cell phone case and his little RAR. Yeah, that's his aura there.
All right.
Bud, come on.
That's enough.
Come on. It's Houston. It's C.J. Stroud, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon. It's going to be massacre on Sunday.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be good for Chicago fans. They're itty little bitty breaky hearts. Yep, that makes sense. Everyone shut up. I don't care. Yeah, Houston's gonna dominate this game. CJ Stroud is gonna prove why he's honestly top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And
could be the season.
Yeah. I'm taking the Houston Texans over the Chicago Bears in a very convincing win.
Frank, how do you go from, I think this could be a little fun game on Sunday, to going, yeah, I think Houston's going to win this one in convincing fashion?
It's a fun game. It's just going to be a fun game to watch if you like offense.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Sunday night, get yourself a little pizza, and, a mini pizza.
Just a mini?
Well,
I might get a large.
Where's a mini pizza?
Like a little,
it's a personal
pizza. Yeah, a little personal from like Pizza Hut.
Really?
You're
going to get the
If I'm getting pizza, I ain't getting it from Pizza Hut.
Well, unfortunately, Buffalo Pizza is not that great, so I'm going to have to stick with Domino's.
All right. You know what else isn't good, Frank? Your takes.
Yeah.
You know what else isn't great?
The Panthers.
Baker Mayfield.
Stanley Cup champion.
Pick on Frank.
Best quarterback in the NFL
Jack
currently.
Eichel.
He does like Jack Eichel. I do not.
Oh,
so I got to say, Frank, Jack
I do
Eichel.
not agree with that statement.
That doesn't help you at all.
I do not agree with Jack Eichel's statement from Evan Harrington.
He took away 2 cups from you. Jack Eichel.
I do not agree with
Could
that.
have had 2. Jack Eichel. All I'm going to say here is that, give me the Houston Texans. Chicago Bears, not yet. I think Caleb Williams later within the season will become. We'll see flashes of it throughout the season. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to take a little bit for Caleb Williams to figure it out. I mean, as a rookie, you're coming into such a dynamic scene, right? I mean, you got a very capable running back in DeAndre Swift. You got Odunze. You got Keenan Allen, one of the top receivers of this past decade. You got DJ Moore, your alpha number one, a top tight end in Cole Kmet. There's just so much going around. Your number one overall pick. You're hyped up as the next Patrick Mahomes of the NFL, the top quarterback within this next generation. Like, you got everything going for you. I think it's really just going to take a little bit for Caleb to settle into the NFL aspect. And once he does, I think he's going to figure it out because he is an ultra-talented quarterback. That's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in this league for a while. But right now, C.J. Stroud, the prolific passer down south, I like him in this one. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw another big game from Diggs and Dell.
The Bears got some studs on defense, too.
They got some guys, Jalen
It's just
Johnson.
a matter of time before they get going. So this is the fun little game on Sunday night, man. I'm going to have to watch it for sure and watch Houston beat up on the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Now we head into the final game of the Sunday night slate. Guys.
Who's the final game of the Sunday night
Oh,
slate?
come on. Dick's Sporting Goods.
In memory of Chris Jacobello, he's not dead. He's just not here. Get ahead, blocker.
C-A-N. Go Bucks.
He's the only one dancing in this studio right now.
Hey, Tampa Bay.
Still the only one.
You know what time it is, baby. 1 o'clock slate. The underdogs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your 2021 Stanley Cup champ. Super Bowl champions. Shut up, Dan. I don't want to hear it.
Do they play this in this stadium?
Sometimes. It's not every game, but sometimes they pull it out. But Dan, we'll start with you. It's Tampa Bay versus Detroit.
I'm going first, actually. Just for that song, I'm taking Detroit.
What?
And he's dropping the mic.
What?
Just for that song alone, I'm taking Detroit. The little percentage chance I had for the Bucks is going out the window.
Little percentage?
Harrington missed the song. I don't think Harrington ever heard this song.
No, I heard the song.
No,
Have you heard this
I've
song?
done it.
I heard it right now. That's all I needed to hear.
Oh, I could have sworn you were here when I've done it before.
Hey,
Whoa,
Tampa Bay,
yeah.
watch out because Detroit's coming for you. That's how they score on you. Up by 22.
All right.
That
That was actually kind of a bar, but
that
calm
was,
down.
yeah, that was fine.
Studio B will wrap it up. And we're taking the Lions over here, too. So that's 2 for 2 over here on the Lions.
I don't know if I want to do it.
Amon-Ra St. Brown scoring a touchdown. Baker Mayfield now has a frown.
And laying
That's-
on the ground.
Both of you are done. Both of you are out of this equation.
Buddy, I don't know if I want to do it to you. I don't know.
You can do it. It's
You're-
fine.
you're right.
The entire country's against me. It's fine.
I-
It's fine. It's how I've always felt. Everyone, it's one versus all.
Buddy, I don't know if I can. I really like Baker. I like Mike. I like Chris. I like a lot of things with that team. I just don't like that you're going to miss like 2 to 3 corners, and it's against Amon-Ra and like Jamison Williams, who just had like a career day. Mr. Gambling Man himself won the jackpot last week.
That was against the Rams, and they barely won.
Just because you started Tua over this man, I'm taking Jared Goof to beat your goofy Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right. Crew, if you're listening, down there in the Bay, in Ybor, in Spring Hill, or you're just straight up in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, wherever you are, listen to me.
You're going to lose.
They're against us. Again, we're the underdogs of the NFL. They didn't think we were going to make the playoffs last year. They thought I was crazy. I'm not crazy. We were a couple seconds away
That's what a
from
crazy
making the
person
championship
says.
game.
Okay.
They thought the Falcons were going to be better than us? They thought the Saints were going to be better than us? No. Because we know what it's like to bake. the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's right. It fits.
What, you're baking burnt cupcakes in there?
I'm sorry. What?
Burnt cupcakes.
That's the sound of 2-0 to start the season. All of you are off. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans, the greatest wide receiver of all time. Chris Godwin, the second greatest wide receiver of all time. Rachaad White, the single best running back in the NFL right now. Our offensive line is so good. Vita Vea's going to have an absolute bounce-back game. He's going to dominate Aiden Hutchinson. And you know what? Oh, God. What do you want?
Hey, 1-1. The Bucs are done. The Lions scoring touchdowns, up by 21. That's 3 scores, many more. Jameel Gibbs is the hero. Baker Mayfield going home tonight.
All right, all of you are back off. I can't handle that right now. I'm going to cry. What do you mean? You don't get to talk. All I'm saying is boom, 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 boom! Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Detroit Lions. And we're starting the season 2-0, baby.
Well, what's the final score?
Final score?
48-21 Lions.
What do you want it to be? Let's go for the record. 74. 500 yards to Mike Evans.
Oh, God.
350 to Chris Godwin. The rest to Rachaad White. Perhaps some to Kate Otten. Trade me Kate Otten. Now, by the way, Joey Cheese, I sent you a trade request. Noah Fant for your Kate Otten. I'm building an entire Buccaneer squad. I need Kate Otten. Thank you so much. Thought I squeezed that in there.
But you did also forget a Sunday game.
What?
The Bills.
No.
The Bills don't
Kidding.
play.
The Rams and the Cardinals.
All right, fine. We'll end with that one. That's annoying.
We still have a Monday one.
That's a nice little
Yeah,
game.
we do that Monday.
That Rams-Cardinals is a nice
Oh,
little
yeah, that's
game.
true.
Yeah, we have a Monday game because we're here Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
Frank, that's a nice little game, that Rams-Cardinals one, ain't it? Seriously.
It's fine. I'm cool with it. Go around. Just say your pick for Rams, Cardinals.
You know what? I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the underdog. I'm gonna take the underdog in the Los Angeles Rams. I think Matthew Stafford had an amazing game against Detroit. I think that defense looked better than anything we thought, even though they did lose it. I just don't believe in Arizona. I've never believed in Arizona. Kyler can't see above his offensive lineman. What makes you think he's going to see a wide open Marvin Harrison Jr.? Come on. Let's just have Cooper Kupp, 2021 Cooper Kupp, come back in fashion, and it works. Rams.
Give me the Rams as well.
Rams.
I'm going Cardinals. I like Kyler Murray, and I like Kyler Murray. I like our Brain Connect. I like Marvin Harrison. Obviously, had an awful first game, but I want them to connect, and I want them. Also, James Conner also was fantastic running the ball. I thought he looked great against the Bills. All right, what's that? What does that even mean? All right.
They're in the books. I wrote them down.
Oh, you got him down?
I wrote them down, man.
Oh, let's go. I should have done that last year. It's so much smarter.
I use Sleeper now.
Yeah, sure. I have Sleeper.
Yep.
So that's going to be it for the Blitz here. We'll kick it old style. We'll go around, give the socials, tell them where they can find you. Dan, take it away.
You can find me on X at _D capital WNY.
Beautiful. Evan?
You can find me on Instagram at Evan Harrington _63 and on Twitter /X at Evan _716.
Joey Cheese.
Tomorrow you can find me at the Bengals game, and most times you can find me in the library.
Beautiful. And you can find me on Instagram at Frank Lopez _561 or on X/Twitter at Frank561 Lopez. Thank you for joining and listening today. You listen to the Blitz here on 91.3 Buffalo's original alternative since 1982. Listen, it's my first day back fully hosting. Well, I'll do you better next week. Have a lovely weekend. Go Bills. Go Bucks. Go Rays. And screw the Yankees. Have a good weekend.